Alright guys, so you should get for your wavelength 6.56 times 10 to the negative 7th meters. Now, if I wanted this in nanometers, because that's typically what we see for colors of light between 400 and 700 nanometers, I would just divide that by 10 to the negative 9th. So if I divide 6.56 times 10 to the negative 7th by 10 to the negative 9th, I'm going to get 656 nanometers. So 656 nanometers. We know that 400 nanometers is violet. We know that 700 nanometers is red. So 656 would be more toward the reddish, orangey colored side of the spectrum. Okay, so 656 we're looking at, because they asked me what's the wavelength and the color, so I'd say it's between red and orange. Okay. Last problem, which is conceptual here. It says, assume that a hydrogen atom, initially in its ground state, absorbs a photon. In general, how many emitted photons would you expect to be associated with the de-excitation process back to ground state? And then it gives you two options. Can there be more than one photon or only one photon? So they're saying, let's just assume that some electron at ground state absorbs a photon. It absorbs some amount of energy. They want to know how many emitted photons can be expected as that electron starts to emit some energy to go back to ground state. So can there be more than one photon or just only one photon? In this case, the answer would be A, can be more than one photon, and the reason is they didn't tell me specifically what energy level that the electron was at or what it was moving to. All I know is that the electron is at ground state and it absorbs some amount of energy. Because it absorbs some amount of energy, maybe it went from n equals 1 to n equals 4. If that was the case, it's going to emit more than just a photon. Now, if it went from n equals 1 to n equals 2 and it went back to ground state, then I would say that the B would be correct. But it's very generic and it's not telling me at which energy level it hopped up to. So because of that, I can say, yeah, there could be more than one photon, and it's because I don't know what energy level that electron moved to and then emitted energy to go back to ground state. Okay, so there's not enough info here. Okay, so this is the end of chapter 27. My goal is, I think there is like 2 or 3 pages of slides. So what, there's like a total of 8 slides on chapter 28. So I will videotape those on Monday, and then I'll post those on Monday for you. And then with this, I am going to, for the week at least, Monday we're going to talk about chapter 22 to 23 homework. Tuesday, I'm quizzing you on chapter 27, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the questions that you have over these videos. On Wednesday, you're going to have your chapter 22 to 23 test. On Wednesday, I'm also going to give you a take-home test, which is going to be over chapter 27 and 28. And then on Friday, we'll start chapter 24, because that'll be the last chapter that we have left. Okay, so if you have questions on these and you don't want to wait until Tuesday, then go ahead and email me. I don't think I'm going to give you any homework over this, but that means then that those test scores better be high, children, because if they're not, then I'm going to give you homework. Have a good day, and I will see you on Monday. Bye, guys.